Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk with Matt. I'm Matt Stolf in New Jersey. I'm sorry what happened before. We had technical difficulties, so I'm just gonna start all over. You listen to Sports Talk with Matt. I'm Matt Stolf in New Jersey, and today we're gonna talk about Dwight Howard and go cover around the MLB. Talk about Matthew Stafford's new deal, what I think about it, and then at the end of the show, I'll be talking about my NBA playoff predictions. So let's tip off today with Dwight Howard and the Lakers. Steve Nash was asked about the whole thing, and he said that Howard never wanted to be a Laker. And I find that very interesting because I don't. It's interesting. It's just very interesting because I feel like Kobe now. You weren't exactly sure with Kobe because of saying pretty much begging with the Lakers for him to stay, and then once he leaves, he completely hates him. And then Nash was, he didn't really play this year, and because of injuries, and then he gets asked about Dwight, and he says never wanted to be a Laker, and I think that's a really honest. You can tell that was a very true opinion, honest opinion, because it was a guy that didn't really, have to deal with didn't really, was kind of like saw Dwight every day. It wasn't like Kobe who, had mixed opinions or Meta World Peace. None of those guys. It's just one of the normal players. And I mean, if Nash played, it'd be a little different. But he didn't really play this year because of injuries, so it makes things more realistic, I think. And you really get to see that Dwight couldn't really handle the pressure in LA, and now he's in Houston. And I still don't think Houston's a 2-3 seed in that West. I still think the Thunder's better than the Rockets. I think the Spurs are still a better team, and I even think the Clippers are gonna be a better team this year than the Rockets. I really, really do. And it's just interesting. I mean, it's just this whole thing completely flipped. It just completely flipped and was not. It did not go as anybody really expected. I mean, let's just look at the record. Let's just go. We can go 2010, 2011 season to last season. So in 2010, 2011, 57-25, very good. Lost in the Western Conference Finals. The next year, the 2011-2012. Remember the lockouts? It was only 66 games. They won 41 of those games. That's still pretty good. And that was still pretty good. And they lost. They beat Nuggets in 7 that year in the first round, and then they lost to the Thunder in the next round, 4-1. I believe, 4-1. And then the year after that, so they had 41 wins in a 66 season game. Now 12 more games are going to be added, and now the Lakers are an even better team supposedly because they have Dwight, they have Steve Nash, and Powell is hoping to do better. And they just got rid of Andrew Bynum because he was a mess. Remember, he was shooting threes for no reason. Mike Brown gets fired in the beginning of the year because they go 0-4. 4 games in, he gets fired. He's gone. You got D'Antoni, who's the all offense, no defense kind of coach. And they go 45 wins. They didn't win the division. It was the first time they didn't win the division since 2006, 2007, which is, shocking. And I mean, I mean the whole season for the Lakers was not as anybody has expected. Expected Mike Brown to be a good coach, and I don't think Mike Brown had a chance. I really think they gave him some time that he could have been a good coach, and I never liked the D'Antoni hiring from the start. And I think the fact that they kept D'Antoni at the end of the year and then, fire him and try to go for a new coach. Some of the there was plenty of coaches out there on the market this year. You could have gotten Brian Shaw, even George Karl. I mean, there were some very good coaches that were out there this year. And the Lakers, they didn't go for any. Kept D'Antoni, the team that got swept in the playoffs. The Lakers don't get swept in the playoffs. They win the playoffs. They go to the championship. They go to championships. They get out of the first. They don't get out of the first round. They're not. That's not how the Lakers, really do things. they're a team that wins. And with Dwight and Kobe, I just don't think it worked out because Kobe wanted to take shots and Dwight likes to get post up. And I think just because Powell wasn't him, and I think just Kobe and Powell just worked better because Powell couldn't take that outside shot. I mean, obviously Shaq was different, but I think just because Shaq was older and was better than Kobe at that time, and now I think Kobe was a better over. I mean, they're different positions, but I think if you're going to look at resumes, I think Kobe was better playing than Shaq. But I mean, I think it's just because Kobe with Powell, because I think Powell understood that Kobe was going to be the leader, and now that this year Dwight, he wanted to be a star, but he didn't want to have that pressure, and that just didn't work well, especially with Kobe, who Kobe is one of the most hardcore, wants to win every game type of player, and I don't think Dwight was ready for that, especially in LA, where everybody's watching you 24/7. So it was just a real mess for the Lakers. I think, they really wanted Dwight back, which, if they really wanted him back, they would have got rid of D'Antoni, looked for somebody else. And, why would you want the guy back? Okay, he did lead the league in rebounds, but there aren't that many true centers anymore. The other one was Andrew Bynum, and he's been hurt. And the next best rebounder was Nikola Vucevic, who played on the worst team in the NBA, the Orlando Magic. I just can't. It just doesn't. I don't know. I think the Lakers just desperate, and it's just completely new. The Phil Jackson, the whole thing. I think they got to either get him back. I think they got to get a different coach. The Lakers want to really move forward this year. Make the playoffs, but they won't win. They won't get out of the first round. And then next year, when the big free agency happens, LeBron has a chance to opt out. So does Melo. And there will be many other free agents. Then it will be a big year for the Lakers. For now, no. All right. So moving on. Just want to quickly talk about Bynum because he got an offer, 2-year, $24 million offer from Cleveland. And this is very interesting to me because you wouldn't think Cleveland would be a competition for Bynum. The Cleveland is really thinking of, they really want to make the playoffs because they want to keep Kyrie. Because they know Kyrie's going to be a star, and he's already proven that he can. You saw him in the Rising Star game. He's breaking ankles with Brandon Knight. And they just got Anthony Bennett with the number 1 pick, who's a very good player, raw talent, and you don't know what's going to happen there. They have Dion Waiters, so they got early last year, 5th pick, I believe. And they're just, they're just a very good, they just are getting some very good players. And if they get Bynum, it could be set, and they could have a chance to be a very good playoff team. And if LeBron leaves and possibly goes to Cleveland, that team could honestly win a championship, in my opinion, because Kyrie is the perfect guard for LeBron. A good 3-point shooter, good scorer, and is a good is a good passer. And then you got a big man like Bynum. LeBron will actually have stars this time in Cleveland. It will be very, very, very interesting. And this is a long shot if LeBron does leave Miami. Who knows? He could win another championship this year and stay. Which, I could see why he wanted to leave. But if he wins a championship this year and he gets 3 in a row, why would he want to leave? I don't see why you want to leave. If I was LeBron. Now, if they lose, don't make it, because there are teams, the Bulls are getting healthy. Indiana's just getting that much better. Brooklyn, no. They're getting new players. And then even in the West, the Thunder, the Spurs, Clippers, it seems like everybody's getting better this year. And usually aren't that team, ever since the Big Three, because they really can't afford anybody, haven't been able to get another player, because they really don't need one. But teams are definitely trying to catch up with the Heat and trying to, obviously beat them and be a better team than them. And I think this year is going to be one of the hardest years for the Heat, considering what is going on. These next few years are going to be really hard because the Bulls were able to contest with the Heat. Not when they had D Rose. And D Rose was out the whole year, which was huge for the Heat because this was a chance for them. Yes, when D Rose won the MVP, when D Rose won MVP, they did beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals 4-1, 4-2. But in the regular season that next year, the Bulls were able to beat the Heat with ease. And I feel like the Bulls are one of the teams can contest with the Heat the most, and I think Indiana can definitely too. So it's gonna be really hard this year because both teams are just getting better. That's really all I can really say about that. All right, moving on. We're gonna go to football, and then we'll have football, just a little bit of football. Talk about the MLB, what's going on around there, and then at the end of the show, talk about my NBA playoff predictions. So quickly, I just want to talk about Stafford because I think this extension is one of the worst extensions I've seen right now. Now, if he had the year he had last year and had it this year, let's just talk about when we talk about Stafford's extension. It's 3 years, $53 million onto his current contract that's going to expire in 2014. 43 of that $53 million is guaranteed, and this contract's going to go through 2017. Now, the Lions, I don't know what is going on. I mean, we have to remember that the Lions were 4-12 last year. 4-12. And they had one of the worst losing streaks that I can remember. I mean, 0-16, no one's going to beat that, let's be honest. But I just want to look at Stafford's stats from last year. I mean, look at the stats from 2011, and then I'll show you the stats from last year. Now, he played 16 games in both. His two first healthy seasons. Now, in 2011, threw for 5,038 yards. Had 41 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. And a QBR of 65.5 with the average of being 50. So he was phenomenal last year. Brought the Lions to the playoffs. They did lose, but they were able to go to playoffs, which was a successful year for the Lions because they really turned things around. Now, 2012, remember the team was 4-12 this year. Similar yardage, 4,967, close enough to the 5,038, but only 20 touchdown passes and 17 interceptions. And he played 16 games. I mean, all the stats are similar except for those 20 touchdown passes. And I watched Stafford, and he didn't look like he did last year. And I think those 5,000 yards, you got to remember he has got Calvin Johnson. I mean, you just got to remember that. Calvin Johnson is top 3. Him and AJ Green are the two best wide receivers in the NFL. And he did break the record this year because that's all Stafford threw to this year. When he was desperate, he threw to Megatron. I mean, who wouldn't? But that's literally all he threw to this year. Half of his yardage we're close to, or maybe not half, but 40% of the yardage in Stafford's stats, so the 4,967, was to Megatron. And it just, anybody can do that, really. I mean, 20 touchdown passes, that's not a $43 million QB right there. I mean, maybe they're hoping he'll step it up and he'll do better. I mean, he's 25. He's still got his prime in a few years. His extension goes into his prime, so that's what they're hoping will happen, that he'll be very good then. But I just don't. I mean, 4-12, you look at the record and you got to look at the QB and the coach. And I don't think it was Andrew Schwartz. I just, 4-12 is just not. That's not a $43 million QB. A QB that leads you to 4-12 is not worth that much money to me, in my opinion. And I mean, we've seen Tony Romo get one, and Tony Romo's only got one playoff win. These guys are getting a lot of money for very little success. They really, really are. I'm not a fan of it. I don't know about your opinion, but I'm just not a big fan of staff. I mean, I don't know if Detroit's happy. Maybe they're happy they're keeping, their QB for a little longer, but I don't know. I hope Stafford proves me wrong because I would really like to see Detroit play like they did in 2011. I mean, just this year, though, 4-12. I mean, they did get Reggie Bush, so they don't have to, because Java Best was hurt, and they don't really have the best running game in the NFL. They're subpar in that, but I mean, Reggie Bush will definitely help the Lions. They definitely will. And I mean, they'll go up. There's no way they're going to be 4-12 again, believe me. And Megatron will just get better. And I hope Stafford gets better because 20 touchdown passes compared to 41 last year. That's a big difference. Big difference. All right, now going on to the majors. I mean, that's the only one sports going on right now, so I got to be talking about the majors, of course. And recently, what came up was with MLB is saying that after the All-Star break, they're going to be suspending a little more than 20 MLB players after the All-Star break, and it sounds like, and it's for the PEDs and the biogenesis that's been going on, that the MLB has figured out, and they're saying they'll suspend those guys after the All-Star break, and it sounds like it'll be up to 100 games. And the two main guys on this list that they're probably going to suspend, Bartolo Colon has been pitching great, and nobody's really talked about him, but it sounds like he'll be suspended, which will definitely hurt the A's. But the two main guys on this list that the MLB is probably going to suspend is Ryan Braun and Alex Rodriguez. Both guys have been MVPs, and both have been caught with this biogenesis scandal. And, now, you can't really say it's going to hurt the teams. Without Ryan Braun, the Brewers are 11-15, and they're not having a good year anyway. Brewers are having a terrible year. They've been terrible the last 2 years, ever since they made the playoffs after that, which was 2 years ago. So last year they weren't even that good. And this year they're not doing that good either. It's just, they just haven't, been as good as as they're used to being. And as they were the last 2 years. And I seriously think Prince Fielder. Prince Fielder was that home run guy on the team. Him and Ryan Braun were the two best hitters. And now he's gone, and Braun, guys can't do it by themselves. They really, really can't. The Brewers are last to the NL Central. The Cubs are doing better than the Brewers. That just shows how much they fell apart. And it's really, I think it's kind of sad. And now, Brewers, yes, they've done better, but they can't. They can't. If Braun is suspended for the rest of the year, you could throw, this season is kind of thrown away already, but you could throw it goodbye. And A-Rod, the Yankees, we look at the Yankees. A-Rod, I don't really know what they were hoping from A-Rod this year, him coming back anyway. So he'll be suspended. They'll look forward to Jeter, and they'll look forward to Granderson and everybody who's coming back to share. They need, everybody is hurt on that team for the Yankees. 48-42, though, which is still pretty good. And I give you a lot of credit to Joe Girardi on that. It's very hard to run a team when all some of your best players are hurt. So 48-42 is pretty good. They're only 6 back. Boston's in first, 55-37. And Boston's doing very well, too. I am very impressed with Boston. Everybody's I just feel like Bobby Valentine was that reason the Red Sox weren't as good as they were. Yes, they are second in the last, but they aren't far behind from the Orioles. They're only half a game back from the Orioles, and they're only 2.5 back from the Rays. So that'll be interesting. But I don't think, honestly, the only impact I think that will happen will change in the West, because Bartolo Colon's been pitching great for the A's, and he'll be suspended. And the A's are first right now in the AL West, but the Rangers aren't far behind. So I think that's going to change everything. And we'll just wait and see what happens. All right, we're going to stay with the majors now, and we're going to go all around the MLB. Check what's going on. I'm going to talk about a little bit what happened yesterday and what's going on right now, because there are a few games that are going on right now. Yesterday, Royals played the Yankees. If you watched you probably saw the end of Moustakas getting the crazy catch that went foul and fair, and Moustakas caught it. It was a great catch by him. The Yankees only 1 run. Their offense has been pitiful recently. Royals are doing very, very well. James Shields got the win. Sabathia got the loss, 9-7. I can't remember the last time Sabathia was 9-7. Remember, this guy was a 2007 AL Cy Young. Also, yesterday was Rays Twins. Rays won 4-1. Both teams had 5 hits. It was Rays now got a 6-game win streak. They're playing well, 51-40. It's good. Twins, I don't know. They signed Joe Mauer, and it kind of went all downhill after that. Rangers played the Orioles. That was a good game. It was 8-4. Rangers won. Rangers had a 4-run inning in the 5th. Had 14 hits in total. It was a very good game for the Rangers. Look at it again. The main guys that did very well. I mean, look at Beltran with 4 for 4, 5 RBIs. I mean, he is doing great. I think Beltran is still one of the best players in the AL. I think right now. I mean, the Rangers doing very good, especially after losing Josh Hamilton. I'm very impressed. Going on to the Blue Jays and Indians. Everybody saw not yesterday, but the day before when Nick Swisher hit the ball that went foul on the third base line and rolled back in. He was tagged out and couldn't believe it. Indians, they win 3-0 to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays, I mean, they're not playing like I thought they would. Josh Johnson and Ubaldo Jimenez, both guys who could have been great pitchers now, but both have fallen apart completely. I mean, after that no-hitter that Ubaldo Jimenez had, he really struggled. And now he's 7-4. I give him props. But Josh Johnson, after he was hurt, and he really hasn't done well since that injury. So he was 1-4, so not doing very well there. Tigers, White Sox, Verlander was pitching. He lost. He's 9-6, so he's struggling a little bit. But Max Scherzer's kind of, doing well for him. He's 13-0, still undefeated, which is amazing, especially now at this time, past the halfway mark of the year. That's incredible. Alex Rios, yes, was 6 for 6, which is only 5 other guys have done that. Not really since the 80s or 70s. I mean, that's really amazing, especially off Verlander. I mean, he was just on fire yesterday. But White Sox won 11-4. Adam Don had a home run. He's 24th a year, which is still a lot. So did Miguel Cabrera, but didn't really mean anything. He has 29 too. Chris Davis still leading with 33 home runs. Now, Mariners, White Sox, Red Sox, Mariners. I don't know why I said White. Red Sox, Mariners, high scoring game, 11-8. Relievers got the win there. Breslow got the win for the Red Sox. Ortiz was able to hit a home run. He's got 18. So Ortiz is still hitting very well. Pedroia had 1-6. You don't see that every day. Neither you see Victorino hit 1. He's got 4 this year now, and Napoli hit 1 too. It was a very high-scoring game. Red Sox got a lot of runs early. Both teams actually got a lot of runs early. I don't know why. I always feel like the Red Sox are in high-scoring games. And the first 3 innings, the score was 6-7 Mariners, and the Red Sox scored 2 more runs in the 4th and the 5th, and it had a 3-run inning in the 8th, which would help them win that game. Red Sox 55-37. Mariners not doing that bad. 40-50. I'll take that for them. That's a good year for them. Now, let's go. Moving on into the NL. Mets and Giants. That game was very interesting. Very close during the game. Dylan G was pitching, and he had a very good game. But the reliever Scott Rice would get the win in that one. But he had a good outing, Dylan G. Only hit a 5, 6 in the 2, had 3 strikeouts, which is decent. Barry Zito had, similar 5 strikeouts, 5 earned, 6 innings. So that was good for both of them. Marlon Byrd hit a grand slam. Marlon Byrd has got 14 home runs this year. I mean, this guy is an old dude. He's got 14 home runs. Very impressed. Anthony Record, backup catcher for the Mets, also got his 5th homer of the year. Very good win for the Mets. The Mets they're starting to do better. 39-48. I mean, I don't know about winning the NL East, but if they can get over 500 or 500 range, it's a good year for the Mets. Especially, not having the players that they don't have the best players. Harvey, just not even Wheeler. Wheeler's got a 5.3 RA right now. He's pitching right now, actually. And then Harvey and Wright, the 2 best guys on that team. But Eric Young and Bird are both doing very well right now. Nationals, Phillies. Phillies won 4-2. Phillies trying to get over the 500 hump. They're 45-46. Nationals 46-44. I don't know what's going on there. Hamels got the win. He's 4-11 this year. I mean, really amazing. And Worth got a home run against his former team. This 9th of the year. So that was good for the Phillies. They're trying to catch up with the Braves, who are 52-38, but that's still very far behind. Actually, they are. Just check here. Yeah, the Phillies are 7 back, and the Nationals are 5.5 back to the 52-39 Braves. All right, so let's move on. Athletics, Pirates. Athletics beat the best record in the majors. Pirates. Athletics 54-37. We still don't talk about them, but they're doing very good. 2-1 for them. Moss got a home run for the Athletics, his 16th, and Alvarez got one for the Pittsburgh. He's 23rd, not going to be the home run derby. A lot of Pittsburgh fans are not happy about that. Upset with David Wright. All right, moving on. Marlins, I believe, is still the worst team in the National League, but doing a little better, playing the Braves. Braves win 6-4, 11 hits for them. Marlins were winning 3-1 at one point in this game in the two, or actually winning 4-3 through three, and then the Braves scored one run in 5-6 in 5, 6, and 7th inning. Totaling with 11 hits, I believe Justin Upton got a home run, his 16th of the year. He's doing very well. Cubs, Angels losing 7-2. I don't know. Pujols able to get a home run, his 14th of the year. Should be a lot more. Alfonso Soriano got 2 that day, 15. Anthony Rizzo got his 13th of the year. And I don't know. Joe Blaine. I never liked Joe Blaine anyway. He's 2-11 this year. And Kerry Wood got the win for the Cubs. He's 6-6. Angels are just slowly but surely falling apart. All right, Reds, Brewers. Brewers won 2-0, getting the shutout the Reds, which is a little shocking. Zingrani got his first loss of the year. Schaffer got his first home run in the majors. It was a bomb. I saw it out in deep center. And Peralta was able to get the win for the Brewers. Brewers, as I said, 37-52. Braun just coming back. He had a hit yesterday. But he will probably be sitting down for the rest of the year if this suspension goes through. So, Cardinals, Astros, one of the best teams against one of the worst teams. 9-5, Cardinals, what a shocker. Wainwright, one of the best pitchers in the majors, in my opinion. He is, I don't know, but he has a chance to be a Cy Young Award winner. Holiday got his 13th of the year. The Cardinals are just a perfect team, really. Good win for the Cardinals, 54-34, but the Astros, sadly, 32-58. D-backs, Dodgers, these teams don't like each other. If you saw, the Dodgers did win 6-1 because of an error on the center fielder who just came in there. Ian Kennedy got the loss. He's 3-5. Remember Ian Kennedy had 20 wins? Yeah, I know, a long time ago. And Alaska, I believe it was his first start with the Dodgers after being traded from the Marlins. He got the win, pitched very well, only giving up that one run. Let me just check. Double check here. I'm pretty sure it was only one. Yep. Only gave it the one run. Got 5 Ks. Very good game for him. Ian Kennedy only pitching 5 and 2 with 9 hits, giving up 5 earned of the 6. 6 runs, 5 of them earned for him. And then finally, Padres, Rockies. Padres were doing pretty good. Now they're slowly going back, and they had a 10-game losing streak, but they snapped that yesterday. 2-1 Padres. Stoltz got the win for the Padres, 7-7. Chatson got the loss, 8-4 for the Rockies. Rockies still doing very well. This West is a bad division. Everybody's either barely over 500 or you're under 500. But everybody's really close too. I like the West. It's not the best division talent-wise, but it's a fun division to watch because there's always a good race there. So, nothing really happened. The Padres were winning 2-1 going into the ninth. They did score a run though. The Rockies did score 1 in the ninth. More of a pitching game there. Looking at the pitching stats there. Chastain, who got the loss, pitched 6 innings, only had 5 hits, 4 strikeouts. It was a good outing for him. And Stoltz pitched the whole game, complete game, 1 earned run with 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. And I just want to say the Brewers, they had their first complete game with Peralta yesterday. It was his first complete game since. It was the Brewers' first complete game since 2011 or something, so it was crazy. Now, NBA predictions will be another time, but looking at this right now, what's going on in the MLB right now? Here we go. Currently, there are a few games on. There's only, 2 games on. It's the Mets and the Giants. The Mets are currently winning 3-0. Matt Cain only pitched 2/3. John Buck had an RBI single before in the game. Wheeler's pitching right now for the Mets, and let me just make sure to check to see who's pitching for the Giants. This is currently going on right now. Eric got a stolen base already. San Francisco. It is Kickham Kane pitched 36 pitches in 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 runs. Wasn't very good for Kane. Bruce Bochy didn't like it either, so he got out. Still 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Now, Reds and Brewers. Looks like this game's going to end. Reds are winning 6-2. Leak has been going to try to go for the complete game here. against the Brewers after the Brewers pitcher got a complete game against them. It's 6-2, and Brewers only have 3 hits. All right, thank you guys for all listening to Sports Talk with Matt. I'm Matt Stoloff in New Jersey, and I'll see you guys next time.